and welcome to another video showing some of, in the middle, a basic knit, but around the edge some precious books of mine. We'll start with Virginia Woolf's Orlando. I haven't read it, but I gather it, these are my knitting needles by the way, don't let my knitting put anybody off from viewing, it's just a bit of irony. Very basic knit, I'll show you that at the end. Orlando, Virginia Woolf's Orlando comes into the public domain this year, 2024. Oops. And essentially, it is a subversive take on a biography, a novel spans centuries and continents, genders and identity. So that's, and so I'm looking forward to not just reading it, I've decided I'm going to read it aloud and upload it to this channel just for other people to enjoy as well, if you are that way inclined to listen to an audio version. And it is in the public domain. Up here we've got Turgenev's Fathers and Sons. Now once again, it is another book I haven't read, and I just found it in my an old caravan in a shelf, and essentially it says Turgenev's masterpiece, 1861 this was published. Here we go, I'll just read the back whilst I take the camera off. And it's remarkable figures of Bazarov, one of Russian literature's most remarkable figures. So obviously I've just been doing, inverted commas, War and Peace. I'll talk about that on another video. I do love the Russian classics, although I have many more to read. And I was, there we go. So that's Turgenev, Father and Son. I just feel I need to read this. I would have bought this secondhand somewhere, oh God, look at the dirt on that, sorry, but probably there before when I bought it. That's not me normally, because if you look at how I keep my books, normally quite nice. Now look at that. That's been read twice. You wouldn't believe it by looking at the spine, would you? When I say twice, yeah, well, there we are. We can see it has been read. Now, Northanger Abbey, Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey, was my last Jane Austen full novel to read many moons ago, and I absolutely adore it, and I know I must reread it. I started reading it and uploading it here, and then I stopped reading, so I did a few chapters. I have another version, another copy of this that I was reading from. I just think it's the most wonderful coming of age novel. If you're going to do Jane Austen, look how it's slim. It's not a big one. It's a great read. For me, it's an easier read. I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing, say, Mansfield Park straight up for the first time if you've not read Jane Austen. But my goodness, Northanger Abbey, just go for it. It is just wonderful. And I just think if you're reading this as a teenager, it's just wonderful. But I love it even at my age, my middle age. Anyway, age doesn't matter. We're all alive on Earth at this time, therefore we are still in the summer of our lives, I would say. Now, that's a strange thing to come up with. Wessex Tales, Thomas Hardy. Again, another purchase I made recently, and it's a collection of his short stories and 7 tales. And, I mean, Thomas Hardy is my second favourite author of all times. That doesn't mean to say that any of his books would feature in my top 3. I think it's unlikely, but it's weird. He is my second favourite author, next to Jane Austen. Obviously, she's my first and top. Persuasion being my favourite book of all times, my favourite novel of all times, just because nothing could take away the feeling, atmosphere and enjoyment I got from reading Persuasion many years ago, and including my rereads. But I am careful with rereads because I never want to kind of change that feeling about a book that I had upon first reading it. So that's Thomas Hardy's Wessex Tales. We've done Northanger Abbey. Orlando I'm going to do a read of. Turgenev, Fathers and Sons, I think is important. This is the Brontes, Juliet Barker. It's quite a big, hefty thing about the lives of, it's a scholarly masterpiece. And Juliet Barker lived, I think, all her life in Yorkshire and close, not far from Haworth. And I was speaking to a friend yesterday about her visit to Haworth, and I just feel so inspired that I need to visit these places because I haven't done that. But that's, I mean, the Brontes are absolutely up there. I mean, without it, when I say one can club them all together. I would say my favourite is Anne Bronte, without a doubt, because I just love The Tenant of Wildfell Hall in particular, but I shall be talking about the Brontes in another video, just because I was just sent away with that, but I could also relate to it as well. On a more modern note, we've got Susan Hill's The Mist in the Mirror, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, but the thing is, there's a bookmark in it. I was, until I saw that bookmark, convinced I'd finished reading this. I know I must have, and in fact, that bookmark is probably just there for safekeeping. I love the old book depository bookmarks they would give with you when you bought your book. Sadly, that book depository isn't there. When it comes to reading, I do it by the book, and I love that picture of the girl sitting on the bench reading, and it's just what, I don't know, just is how one. It's that cosy read. Anyway, so there's the bookmark. I know I've finished this because I was really into Susan Hill, and I just wanted to pick up her next one and next one. But I might reread this because I've sort of forgotten what it's about, although I kind of feel there's, a mirror and a London feel and somebody, what does it say? So James Monmouth returns to London after years spent travelling alone. That's it. I remember now. And some rooms and, the mist in the mirror, etc. It was lovely, ghostly almost, I'm sure. But don't let me put you off. Here are some knitting needles. And this is just very basic knit. I told you I was. I've just done the local rugby colours where I live. Black, red, white. It's kind of, excuse the root at the back there, mainly therapeutic, just knitting basic garter stitch. Took me about 3 hours. I thought, might give that to someone who's going to watch the rugby in my area. And there we go. There we are. So thank you for... Got Wessex Tales by Thomas Hardy. Susan Hill's The Mist in the Mirror. Obviously that was written in... I'm guessing the... let me just find that one, because obviously we're dealing with Victoriana and Regency, and what is this? 1992. I thought the 90s, early 90s. Gosh, Turgenev, 1860s. Virginia Woolf, which is this one we are dealing with. Should know all this beforehand, shouldn't I? I'm going to guess the sort of 1920s, but don't quote me on that because I can't see when it was first published. Not to worry, that's my lack of research beforehand. Northanger Abbey, of course. What year would that be? I think it was one of her first, but oh gosh, yeah, never mind. Mansfield Park will always be my... Persuasion is my favourite, but Mansfield Park is just really, really precious to me. Northanger Abbey, 1880. Oh, posthumously, I think. Oh gosh, isn't that heartbreaking? Posthumously, meaning published after one's death. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this, and thank you very much. Have a lovely day and enjoy any reading that you do.